Welcome back, everyone, to Lobby Legends Noblegarden. We have a lot going on as we move into the next game. There are 3 players who have the opportunity to win the whole tournament in this game right now. If it's one of those players that finishes first place, they are the champion. They win the whole thing, the tournament ends, and that'll be a great day for them. There are other players who do need to do some work to get to that 20-point total, so they also then can have the chance to win if we move on to the next game. But like I said, I was saying to you in the breaks, as we see now, some of the hero choices are popping up for us at least. The 3 players that are or do have that ability to win are Ordragon, Max, and Dappy. And especially Ordragon and Max, I think. Dappy played extremely well in that one game earlier, but I think those 2 players at the top have been playing very, very well.
No, not that one. Ordragon, please. Ordragon, please. Ordragon, please. There it is. Okay. These are some game-winning heroes. Oh my goodness. Queen Ashara, Lord Barov with the tournament on the line. Dappy, by the way, as you can see on the on your tracker on the left-hand side of your screen there, has Blackthorn as well, which I think is a very nice hero for game-winning potential. Similar to sort of what I was kind of mistakenly saying about Flurgle for a while. Not because Quill Balls are good, but because you can level to 6 and be strong while doing it, and have the opportunity to then find Naga as Naga with then the ability to just have extra blood gems, which makes you pop off so much harder with a Thissa if you get there.
Yeah, we do also see, I want to say the first Lich King we've seen this weekend. That might be wrong, but either way, we've not seen him a lot.
Sounds right. Yeah.
Sao King rocking the Lich King. There are some really strong things, especially or mainly the whole Reborn on a Leroy is extremely strong indeed. So we'll see if that plays into it. And just to point out as well, if you're wondering, the 3 players who have the sort of goldeny numbers next to their name on their health totals, those are the 3 players that if either one of those ends the game in that first place, they win the tournament.
And it begins. I have no idea if this was part of the motivation or not, but Alucard with the Deathwing picks up the Icky Imp because turn 1 he was fighting against an opponent who had the lobby in check. It's like, okay, I'm going to bet my entire game on dealing damage to the Barov Ordragon on turn 1 and then forget about it from there.
Yeah, I might not face this person ever again, but I can say with a straight face, when I did face him, I dealt damage.
Yep.
Now, if everyone else did that, we'd be fine.
What is it? He has a name. The, like, American Uncle Sam recruitment guy. Like, the point, we need you to deal damage to Ordragon.
Yeah. I mean, Alucard is just beating everyone up right now. I do like, and that was another hit, right?
That was Max, yeah.
I do like the Sky Captain Crag pick as well. I don't think Max was offered great heroes, but Crag, if you need that turn to either boost the Tavern tier up or to, pop off with a lot of buying power, Crag's okay, right? It's definitely not a bad hero.
Yeah, for sure.
6-0 could be a player who's going to play Scrappy this game, and then could have the option at Soul Juggler kind of stuff if he wants to look at that. Because he does only, I think 6-0 needs 4 points to be able to get to 20.
Yep.
So again, just keep an eye on 6-0. Let's see if he goes for more of a just, I will sort of sit in the middle of the pack. Or just above middle, I suppose, technically.
Yes, I was able to answer that so quickly because I'd gone silent as I was copying those numbers from Discord to pen and paper, so I don't have to take up screen space with them anymore. Which, yes, Zixo on 16, needing 4 points to get into a check position from here. You do see the Lich King now throwing in the damage in the early game, but I mean, Dappy doing what Dappy needs to do, right? Level. Yep. Level, get to 6, find those win conditions, and that is a good chunk of tempo for the 3-on-3 curve as well. Parrot with a Death Rattle is not the worst thing to be seeing here overall.
Yeah, especially Rat, right? It's just a more minion-based generation too. I I'm enjoying making a mini game for myself, which is just watching the yellow numbers and how far they go down, and then see if they go up again and then go down again, with just everyone beating them up. So we'll see how that continues. Dappy,
how do you feel
time, though?
about level? The curve that shall not be named? Yes, 4 on 4. Huh?
So this is something I guess I think we talked more about in the break between ourselves. Something that, again, from my complete 0 competitive Battlegrounds tournaments I've played in.
What do you mean? Sorry, I was very confused because he sold the cat and then paused as if there was another decision to be made at that point.
Well, this might look very, very silly indeed, but the only thing that's important for Dappy and the other 2 players that have gold numbers next to their name, the gold health totals, is they have to win. Not second, not third, not fourth, nothing. They have to finish first. And if Dappy can just survive and then pop off with this sort of hard tavern push in here, that's the kind of thing that will either 8th place or 1st place. And none of the numbers matter to Dappy apart from that 1st place. So I do appreciate it here.
Bonker or Snail, I think, was a surprisingly close decision in that position, but I think it is a bonker, absolutely. Or Dragon now on the Barov does now have that matchup. This is a head-to-head of 2 players with the lobby in check fighting against each other. So now this is the most difficult fight, I think, to navigate. Yeah. You both want to be as greedy as possible for your own win condition, but you also do want to directly hamper the other person that's in the same spot as you. Shout out once again to Alucard Finley, who has now dealt significant damage to all 3 checked players with Deathwing in this, with Finley Deathwing in this potentially crucial lobby.
Yeah, gonna win the role for best supporting actor.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Going on here, he's doing his job well. I just love that there's just a triple sunbacon just on the board on offer, which is kind of great. But this is huge though, and going back to that bunker pick, I like it a lot because he can use the blood gems now to secure his health total and still gain them back by the time he wants them for the real big turns later on.
Yes.
So like a 9-13, like that is going to put some work in, especially as we can see here, basically going to farm this whole board.
Yeah, weirdly, if you showed the entire board state to Dappy in that situation, he actually wouldn't have even played the Siren because his bonker could take down the whole board, and having less minions in play means that you would then attack again with the bonker and be able to get more blood gems. But obviously that is a ridiculous read to make in that situation.
And a ridiculous risk as well, isn't it? Because if you mess up and you just get smacked for another like 8 or something, you're like, oh no, I'm dead.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 coins in hand goes to 8. So we'd have to sell level and then sell again to hero power. Yeah, it's too much. Has to wait 1 more turn.
I do think if we end up playing many more games, we're going to see this as a giant theme song of the golden health totals just sitting at the bottom most of the game. Because they're playing extra greedy, right? They need to win, but it's just funny that, all the players that have got it in check are going to lose. It's like, well, maybe, but this is also how they win.
Yes.
Oh, this is a disgusting board from Yanis. This is the board that if I faced, I'd just look away or minimize the game while it happens. Because I just don't want to watch this. It's like...
He has been like the absolute tempo king of this tournament, right? Like Finley, Daryl stay on 1. Now there's the Greybow Millhouse in the previous game as well. Like, he has largely ignored Naga for this entire tournament so far. And it's very impressive that he is where he is while doing that.
You got this. You're way ahead.
Yo, do we have a Leaper situation?
I can only hope.
Is it time? Are we gonna get the Leaper spam? Is it coming? Chat, you know what to do.
Max gone down to 12. After this fight, can we check in on Max as well? I just want to see where he's up to with this might be the turn he pops with his hero power, right? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, not surprised. Even if you would like to be greedier, you just don't, right? At 12 health, Sky Captain Crag.
12 fighting a Barov, who is also going to be popping off this turn.
Yeah.
Any consideration to take a Foe Reaper and stay alive? No. Oh no! Oh my goodness! That is the absolute hyper nuts in this situation. One of each is the absolute dream. Triple spellcraft as well. Are you taking a roll? Are you taking a roll for one more spell? No, okay, he takes
Snails too. Because all he needs to do in his mind now, just don't die this round. Just don't die in this one fight, and then he is gonna pop off.
Okay, what have you got, Or Dragon, in response to that? You've got a Foe Reaper, and you've got an Orgazoa. But this is the argument, right? Like, genuinely, I am a tiny bit surprised that there was zero consideration to the Foe Reaper from Max on the other side. Obviously, I get it, right? Like, they're in the position they're in. They have to win the lobby. We've talked about it extensively. I understand the assignment. I know where we are. However, you can prevent someone who is very clearly doing something extremely greedy on the other side from winning the lobby by just taking a Foe Reaper and murdering them.
And killing
right?
them. Yeah,
So, like, there is definitely something to do. I think he absolutely made the right decision. I'm just a little surprised there was no time allocated to taking that Foe
And
Reaper
also,
whatsoever.
this might be a bit negative, but if you think there's a chance you lose this lobby, maybe you didn't get, you're not safe enough in your health, then you can potentially remove someone else so they can't win either, right? Like, there's so many upsides, but yeah, we'll see how it pans out here because, okay.
He needs to go. Needs to get one to go left. Does not get one to go left. I think too much just crashes straight into that one minion, right? Yeah, this is going to be a win for Max up at the top, and that is going to be 15 damage exactly. Which means Or Dragon bites the dust, and he sees crucially that Max not only dispatched him on that turn, but also that Max has both of the win conditions that he is looking for.
Right. And I imagine a collective cheer went up from all the players that are not in the golden position right now, not got the lobby in check. We are going to check in on Yonsei. Again, doing well, has his own Athesa, is also playing Vol Jin, which is a big deal too. Shoal Commander's going to come down now to start racking up these extra buffs. Key piece missing now, lack of Siren. That's going to be probably next on the list of must-have minions for Yonsei, I think. As that combination, that tag team of Athesa and Siren is really what starts to ramp you forward into the game.
It is, but I think for the long-term health of the tournament, for everyone involved who isn't Max, a player like Yonsei would want to be fighting against Max right now, right? You need someone right now who is insanely strong to deal 12 damage to Max before his board gets out of control. Because given time, his board will get out of control. If he rolls a Siren, this game might just be over. Any point before he hits that Siren, you might still have a chance to do 12, but you need matchup RNG to put someone incredibly currently strong up against Max.
No, it's Alucard. And that...
It is Alucard. It is Alucard. It's Deathwing Alucard. With a very clean mech setup.
And the pig.
That is a lot of damage being represented. Double Deflecto, double reset. This is going to be close. Oh, 52 health now on the Lava Lurker.
I was just going to say the 24-52 might just laugh, honestly, Sottle, at all of this. It's not even. Well, it is at half health now, but everything's dead, Sol. Does it matter?
Yeah, I think, well, yeah, what additional reset, and he certainly could have tied at the very least, but the resets went down, only resetting the Deflectos once each. And I think Max is getting over the hump. I think that was the hump, and Max has now cleared it. I think this might just be plain sailing from here. He will still have to find a Siren at some point, I believe. But I think the worst of it is certainly over at this point for Max.
think Dragon might hold the title of most ghost damage so far in this tournament because he just smacked Sao King for 11 as a ghost.
That'll do some
So much damage.
Okay, no, this is a big deal. This is a big deal. UNC has found and frozen a Myrmidon on Vol'jin, which can create a colossal minion. The kind of minion that can kill high-rolling Naga players in this position. Still, not the matchup he wants. He would want it right now. Again, I think Max will still scale beyond this if given enough time.
Yeah, he's going to swap the Snail. Makes perfect sense.
Yep.
Snail's the first card you get rid of. Snail very much a mid-game, early-ish game tempo minion, and this is huge. It's going to get it's going to double at this point. Triples when it's golden, but still, that is a huge amount of extra stats going on there for Yonsei.
Ooh,
So 3 health and a dream.
Yeah, and a cat hero power. So very much looking to survive here, but I'm adding up the numbers on his board, and it looks very much like it all dies to that one Myrmidon by the time that it's doubled.
Let me check. No Siren, so a 2-8, a 2-8, a 13-6. Like, the Wind Fury on all of these minions won't matter because they'll die in one shot anyway.
He's freezing Strong Shell as well by the looks of things, so really hard locked into tempo at this point.
Yeah, 6-0 again, as a small reminder, only needs 4 points to put the lobby in check, but I don't think the camera shake was his cat that time, Sottle, because he's just looked at his opponent's board, and as we said, it doesn't even look close.
Yeah, I think that was him seeing 100% lethal pop up on his tracker. Was what that reaction was for, because that's what that looks like to my eyeballs.
Yeah, and also, the reason for that most likely is health total, right? Any minion living, so that player actually wins, you're dead. Because the Tavern Tier kills you alone on 3 health. So 6-0 is going to go out in 7th, which again is not enough for him to join the other players who have the lobby in check. So he's got to go again to try and make up that difference. In the meantime, though, Sao King going to take a victory over Dappy, putting him down to 18.
Can we get a max Siren check, please?
Max check. Okay. Why is there so much stuff? All this stuff. Another Siren in hand as well, probably to end the turn on, I imagine. If it doesn't end up golden at this rate, who knows?
Yeah.
There you go. Knew it.
Yeah.
And now he's going to get another Siren or a Thissa from the Discover. Not that one, this one. Oh. Bill.
Better hire a recruit while you can.
Mildly ridiculous.
So the only missing piece of the puzzle now really is glow scale. That's the only thing missing for perfection, I would argue here. Again, like my perfect dream scenario Naga endgame board does not have a lava lurker on it, but at this point, it's a golden lava lurker that's already a 50-70, right?
I will admit,
that is permanent.
I have sold a similar size lava before in the game because I was so far ahead, though.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I had so much health and was winning by so much. I was like, I've got time to just, and I think I did swap it for another Siren. It was like, yeah, this is worth because I know I'm not going to die.
Yeah, we just dipped in with Dappy for a second, who is the only other player eligible to actually win the tournament right now. It doesn't have to be him that stops Max, but he would be the other player in terms of pure self-interest of winning the tournament that would be ideal to do so. Any of these 6 remaining players alive can try and take on the challenge of beating this, but looking around the tavern as far as I can see it, everyone else is a third the size of Max right now from what I'm looking at.
Yeah, this is the point of no return, it feels like, doesn't it? It's just, and this is the insane scaling from Naga, right? It just looks too strong. Nothing actually can catch up once it gets rolling, and it got rolling very quickly for Max.
Indeed, yeah. I suppose if we're going, okay, never mind. I was going to say we need to pin our hopes on a Lich King here, because Lich King with like Khadgar, Reborn Leroy, something like that, could potentially scam the situation. I doubt that would get anywhere near actually winning at this point. because it's very easily counterable with just like buy a Void Lord or an Acolyte or whatever, right? And then all their Leroys just die crashing into that. But in terms of catching one player by surprise, finding Max at the right moment and getting that reborn Leroy to potentially like scam a fight out, maybe that could have been the win condition for keeping the tournament going. But Sao King on that Lich King has unfortunately bitten the dust in top 6, going out at the same time as Alucard, and we are now into top 4. Daffy holding on with 1 HP in a dream, but it's a dream that is rapidly fading, Raven. Nothing to do with his own health total, and more to do with the ever-growing totals of the health and attack on the other side of the board. And there's the missing piece of the puzzle. Not just 1, but 2 in this case. Glow scales coming down to finish off this board.
Yeah, it's just perfect, isn't it? It's just been one of those games, and like I said at the very start, Max's choice of Sky Captain Crag when his offerings weren't the best. Still a solid hero, might not be the top of the top tier, but something I've played a couple of times, and that boost of just saying, okay, this is the turn I either get to 6 or get to 5 to instantly triple, things like that to really pop off. Like, it does the job. It's very, mediocre hero power in general, but as proven multiple times so far this weekend, you only need that one good turn to get cooking, right? You only need that one reach for the 6.
I mean, what do you even say? Look at look at the state of that board in comparison to this. Just waiting for the inevitable death.
And the inevitable stats. Why is there a spawn of N'Zoth on the board?
I don't know. It's turn 11.
The spawn's like, guys, are you really telling me to go in first? Like, look at them. Like, why do I have to go in first?
Yeah, okay, Vol'jin now taking down the Blackthorn, which means we are going to be in a straight-up head-to-head, I believe. No, it looks like, spoiler alert, but the Greybow actually survives that fight. Okay, I guess they are on 31. Fair enough, I suppose.
31 never feels safe. Not against this board.
No. So how much is that? 6, 12, 15, 20, 22. Yeah, okay. So I was about to say, maybe if the Orgazoa landed, had value traded on the other side of the board and then hadn't been attacked into, would that have been lethal? But it still wouldn't have been. So I don't think that was ever going to be lethal on the other side. But this, I think, is what it comes down to now. It's going to be this fight or it's going to be nothing. Yonsei needs to find some way to scam the living heck out of this fight one time and deals 12 damage.
I mean, just I want to say anything's possible, but when it's just smaller stats and 2 Leroys,
exactly,
that's not the thing, right? It needs to be very big levels of cheese going on to be able to yoink a win in this fight. And when it's just, oh, well, all my minions are smaller, but I'll play 2 Leroys. And I'm not even going to go at Yonsei for this at all. He's obviously putting forward the best board he possibly can, but 2 flat Leroys and a Dream isn't enough.
Yeah, 2 very salient points here, I think. Firstly, what we just saw Yonsei do there is not good enough, and we know that for a fact. But he doesn't, because I don't think he's had this fight yet at any point, right? He doesn't know.
Alive.
Exactly, yeah, he's alive. That's the clue that he hasn't fought against Max yet. So he doesn't know the scale necessarily of what he's up against. Secondly, we didn't see the whole turn, but I'm interested in the fact that the Orgazoa is still there, because he knows for a fact that the other remaining player is zero threat to him, right? Like, it does not even matter that Yanase is still alive in this game. So for as far as he's concerned, this is final fight. So I am a little bit surprised that the Orgazoa hung around and he didn't go absolutely all in and just trying to kill the opponent here by beefing up as hard as possible. It may have been that there was nothing attractive enough to really pull himself away from this. But that is going to mean 19 damage. So now he does know what he's up against on the other side. He knows that stats no longer matter, and that is a problem that he now needs to solve. And I'm not sure it can be done with this board.
I don't know why it surprised me or made me laugh so much, but the fact that Max just has the ghost this turn, it's like just funny to me. It's like, yeah, let them two fight it out, and I'll fight whoever wins that one, whoever's worthy. But that's the problem, and that's
level, right? Really?
I think so, because that's, as in, I agree with you, because like, how does his comp progress from this point? He needs a lot more Naga, and I think
no. You can't just be buying Sunbacon Relaxer as if this is a normal game of Hearthstone. Like, how does this ever win? Surely you have to go to 6 and find, like, 17 Manted Queens and 12 Leroys, right? Like, surely that's the only win condition.
Ghoul manted or something, like, you know, just to do something very silly. I don't even know.
Yeah.
But trying to play an honest game, as we've spoken about, will not get you first. And that, generally, up until this point, has been fine. If you can get second, great. Well, not when the person getting first is the one who's going to end the tournament and win. Like, that's when the problem arises.
Wow. Weird spot, right? Because he swapped the stats off the Siren and then rolled into exactly the Siren triple, which then made swapping the stats off the Siren the most irritating thing that he could have done. Ended up sticking with the original plan.
Yeah. A little bit painful, isn't it? There's even elements of, like, the Acolyte could achieve things going forward. I'm not sure if it would achieve enough, but it's definitely a tech card that doesn't often come up, right? Oh yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of Reborn on the other side.
Yeah.
There was okay. So to be fair to UNC's decision making this turn, right? Like, from my perspective, he beats the Grey Bell no matter what, right? He has a 116 health minion. I don't think he's necessarily fought the Grey Bell either so far this game, so he might not necessarily know what he's up against. So since he has double Leroy up front that he has to keep them, right? They're mandatory.
Yes,
they must stay on the board. Therefore, he is a little weak against any given Grey Bell, right? Because those two Leroys are terrible against Grey Bell specifically. So he might have just felt that just the buying and selling spells that turn was just kind of necessary to even get through this fight in particular, which obviously I disagree with because I've seen the fight. I know what it's going to be. I know how big he is on the other side.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. There's also the thing where if he thinks this is going to be the last game and the tournament ends, he's just making sure he gets second to gain more points, right? Like, that might push him up.
No, I did see that as well, but I also don't like that attitude, right? Like, I'm never going to
Max's board?
I know I've been calling this the give up board all tournament, but you don't literally give up. Like, I don't think that's the way out of it either. You know, like, through Leroy and Poison Scam, all things are eventually possible, right? Like, you might have 2%, you might have 3%, you might have a fraction of percent. I don't think there's a Naga board that can build 100% against the best possible poison Leroy scam that you can build on the other side, right? Now, I'm not saying that you ever get anywhere near hitting the best possible poison Leroy scam, but you can at least go for it, right? Like, the tournament then still exists.
Looking at this, there's a ghoul there, but there's just not the money, there's not the resources. If you say had like a handful of cards, right, then you can say, okay, start cycling, look for this, look for that. Does pick up the ghoul, which I do like. I think ghoul is just something you have to grab at this point if you're trying to do something funky to steal a game. But it just, when we flicked from Max's view to Ansan's now, it looks like we're playing two different games, Sol. It looks like we're playing two different games.
I mean, I don't know why I'm on my high horse being critical at this point. Like, the real answer is hold your hands in the air and say, what can you actually do about it, right? Like, sure. It's just a zap. Why is there just a zap? Kicking all of this off. Yes!
Why not?
100% lethal challenges the Leroy with the zap. That's why it's there. Poison takes care of the Divine Shield on the Quillbore.
Yeah, not
and
even
everything else is just a formality, meaning that Max is your Lobby Legends 2, your Lobby Legends Noblegarden champion, and $10,000 and the title richer than he was this morning.
Yeah, and what a huge win for him as well, because again, this is the second Lobby Legends tournament so far. Max was in the first one as well. He qualified, got through to it, played in it, and it must naturally be disappointing, right? The first big Battlegrounds tournament, you know, ran by Blizzard, of course. Like, you know, it's a really hype getting qualified for it, getting in, and then you don't do so well. It's, you know, it does just feel bad, but then qualifies again, gets on stream again, gets to this point, and then wins it all. It's just got to be the best feeling, and well-deserved. Like, yes, we've all seen, you know, hitting the Naga early puts a huge increase on your potential lobby win rate, but these players have understood not only the best ways to try and do that, but also when that doesn't happen, the best ways to gain as many points as possible. It wasn't, you know, the best start there for Max in the finals today, but look at that, like 5 points, 5 points, 7 points, 2, and then the 7 again. That is extremely solid. A whole 3.5 points above second place, and then as you scale down there, he is like a whole extra win ahead of the majority of the players in this lobby, and these are some of the best players in the world. So again, just a huge congratulations there to Max on becoming the champion of Lobby Legends Noblegarden, and I think he played really, really well.
Yeah, I think so too. I think in general, a lot of really impressive moments. And again, I think it was always going to be a little bit easier in this tournament because I talked about this yesterday. Like, I really enjoy when the game is like this because the puzzle has less degrees of entropy, right? Or however you want to look at it. It feels like a more inherently solvable game to play perfectly when the strategy is hit Naga or you can't win the lobby, right? But there is still a ton of skill expression in the middle of that when it comes to maximizing positioning when you're not the player that hits, making sure you're first and not second when you are the person that hits but someone else hits as well. Like, all these things are kind of min-maxable. And yeah, defending your health pool, all these various things that you can do. But when there's fewer options on like what are legal comps to play, essentially, it feels more inherently solvable for the human brain. So then I think it also creates a scenario where it seems like players play better, right? Because there's less things to consider, so they make more decisions correctly because there's fewer things distracting them into making incorrect decisions. So I think because of that, we've seen a tournament that for me was played to a higher standard than what I was looking at from the outside in Lobby Legends 1. That's just kind of a personal snap decision, and it is much harder to judge play skill when you are casting than it is from when you are watching and not having to say things all the time, as you well know, but few people do, Raven. But for me, I think the quality of this tournament overall, even though it was a linear meta, or perhaps even because it was a linear meta, was super, super high overall. And even with, you know, Max taking it down, of course we want to give Max his flowers here. But, you know, shout out to Sal King, who I think had a fantastic day too. Shout out to Dragon, who I think was potentially the player of the tournament overall. And then Dappy in that previous game as well, putting it all together. Like, there has been some insanely cool stuff being put together in this tournament. So I have had an absolute blast in this one for sure.
Yeah, and I think for me as well, we were talking about the Czech format and the big differences of how it played out in this tournament versus the previous Lobby Legends. And I've just, one thing I can say, we can talk about how the last finish happens or doesn't happen at certain times. But for me, I really enjoyed the evolution of the strategies moving through the last day, right? And we saw that very clearly in the players' decision making, whether it was hero choices, comp choices, decisions of what to do even within certain fights and how to approach that. I still just like that all the players that were in Czech just got beaten up at the start of the game. Everyone was like, get them quick. Didn't quite work out though, as Max did end up victorious.
Yeah, I mean, Alucard on Finley is just
out.
Yeah. Alucard on Finley's just looking around like, well, I did my job. Like, what's everyone else doing? I beat him up.
Yeah, it was really great to watch overall. But that does mean, as we said, a player that puts the lobby in check wins. That means the tournament is over. They are the champions. So again, another congratulations to Max there. But do you have any final words, Saul, before we call it a day, call it a weekend?
Nah, I mean, that's basically it. Battlegrounds is great. Casting Battlegrounds is fantastic. Battlegrounds esports is wonderful. Long may it continue. Really, really enjoy this mode. It's such like a refreshing change of pace to have something in Hearthstone that like weirdly feels high octane, something that you can like scream and shout about and like get into. It's really, really strange. Like, I love Constructed and I always will, but I think Battlegrounds is such a nice change of pace. It's been great to watch these events happen. I hope people keep on supporting them. I hope people continue to have a good time. Huge congratulations to Max, which is absolutely the final thing that I do want to say. I think he played great. Congratulations, a fitting champion for Lobby Legend Noblegarden, and hope to see much more in the future from Max and from the large majority of these players. Honestly, I think it's been a great show.
Yeah, I completely agree. And for my time, really casting Battlegrounds for the first time, I had a great time, and I agree with everything you say. And I hope it wasn't too much of a drag on your more experienced self, Sottle. No more so than usual, I'm sure, is your answer there that I'm not going to let you say. But yes, just remind everyone that if you are interested in competing in Battlegrounds and competing in Lobby Legends, literally anyone can do so. To qualify, you need to get a top 16 ladder spot. So there's nothing stopping you. There's no outside tournaments there. You've just got to finish top 16 on the ladder. And for more information, just check out Hearthstone Esports on Twitter or go to playhearthstone.com/esports and some other places on the site for more information on how to qualify and how that system works. But for now, from Sol, myself, production, Lorinda as well as a final shout out, who's been controlling the action for you guys, choosing what we get to see. So shout out to everyone there. Thanks a lot for watching. We really hope you had a great time, and we'll see you next time in Lobby Legends.